From the Citadel to 2 Boys on Temple, coached by a man that's straight mental. And as the 7-year itch, hello from the other place. Bitch! You were supposed to be the second coming, not the Kruger gun. Ain't telling us you had a plan, and Geoff Collins was our man. We bought into your bullshit, hook, line, and sinker. Every week Sims and the offense looking shittier. We were willing to forgive you for the first years, then you just kept on lying to us engineers. So hello from the other place. Mentally deranged, pool noodle loving nut can of the other place. October 12th, there won't be any saving face. Your daddy keys coming to town to expose No Socks the clown. You won't have to wait long. Ha 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 ha, is this a Red Dot song? You said history at Georgia Tech, first loss to a FBS school. You go to hell for the L to the Citadel. Got a different kind of a triple option, three-peated a 3-win season, but you locked Paul Johnson out for no reason. You wanna talk about high level and elite, but only win 10 games with 28 defeats. Oh, but it was COVID's fault, right? The Atlanta-only virus even got Josh Payne spreading your lies, saying you're Mr. Righteous. You didn't get what you were promised here. Well, I promise you this, you'll be unemployed by the end of the year. So hello from the other place. Mentally deranged, pool noodle loving nut can of the other place. October 12th, there won't be any saving face. Your daddy keys coming to town to expose No Socks the clown. You won't have to wait long. Ha 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 ha, is this a Red Dot song? $11 million was the best money Cabrera ever spent. No one wanted you till Mac Brown had another geriatric hiring event. Blacking out their spring game, and you're still the same. James Madison hanging 70 like it's a video game. Another record for the minister of mayhem. Only thing working in Geoff's head is the brainstem. Your worst nightmare.
You know what, guys? We got a new song tonight. This is fresh off the presses. Let's just go ahead and play it. It's called The Money Down Clown.
Is it better to have hope and have it crushed, or to have never had it at all? I know you heard Wreck and his crew as soon as they walked in the keys. Georgia Tech, Wreck and Collins doing some reconvening. I came all the way from North Avenue. You look me in the eye when I talk to you, and next time we whoop your ass, bless some socks with those women's shoes. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all the money go down. Here is a pool noodle on me, and your daddy blank key. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all the money go down. So dap 'em up, Geoff, you doing a hell of a job. Geoff, hold that. You're a program killer and it's getting serial. Jamal Haynes, remember you lied and gave away his scholarship. 68 yards, bitch, you blocked me, but I still send you the clip. You really wanted this one, didn't you? You tried so hard, nothing but 370 yards, red dots on this report card. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all the money go down. Here is a pool noodle on me, and your daddy break key. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all their money go down. So dap 'em up, Geoff, you doing a hell of a job. Geoff, hold that L, you're a program killer and it's getting serial. Jamal Haynes, remember you lied and gave away his scholarship. 68 yards, bitch, you blocked me, but I still send you the clip. You really wanted this one, didn't you? You tried so hard, nothing but 370 yards, red dots on this report card. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all their money go down. Here is a pool noodle on me, and your daddy break key. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all their money go down. So dap 'em up, Geoff, you're doing a hell of a job. That's 4 in a row, bozo, 2 ways, another 4-0. When you get fired, you still gonna try to be Kirby Smart's or you just needed one stop to get to over overtime. But you can't out-choke the choke artist, that's the bottom line. Why you running back to the locker room so fast, dog, when you think you're going? Bricky wants you back, he says you're not done blowing. It's money down, yeah, everyone that hires this clown has all the money go down. Here is a full noodle on me, and your daddy bring key.
What you think about that, guys? Hey, I hope you're having a great night tonight. And it's always a better Sunday. And hell, I know it was a much easier ride back from Chapel Hill with a W. And look, no one owns North Carolina like Georgia Tech. Let me move my camera around a little bit here. And before we get into the show, let me see if I can get this. Yeah, that's what I want. Do I have a right screen capture? Give me 1 second here, because we gotta start the show right, boys. We gotta start the show right. I'll just add one. I'll add one right now. There it is.
59th all-time meeting between your Yellow Jackets and North Carolina Tar Heels.
The Yellow Jackets travel to Chapel Hill, Kenan Stadium, to take on the Tar Heels of North Carolina.
Green light, go, baby. Make plays together. Celebrate together. Stick together. Play for each other. Leave no doubt, man. It's us against the world. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Upended. What a tackle by Harvey. He's pressured. Sack. Ball is out. And the Jackets jump on it. Vandenberg covers it. Alexander at the right rear of King. The handoff, Alexander runs left, and he's in for the touchdown. A scholarship on Tuesday and a tutty on Saturday. Steps up in the pocket, tries to escape. Sacked by Sylvain Yunjuin. QB draw, Haynes King has room. 15, 10, sprinting to the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, Jackets. Shrugs out his shoulders, he's ready. Snap, spot, kick. Lofted up and good. Georgia Tech stretches the lead to 20-14. Looking over the middle, Plants throws the slant, batted away. Knocked down by Burrell, and the Jackets take over on downs. It's Haynes King running right and in untouched toward the pylon. Thrown over the middle on the slant. It's caught at the 39. Ball pops out at the end of the play. Jackets fighting for it. Do they have it? And it is Tech football. Inside handoff, Haynes has a hole past the 40, 50. He's off. Go Jamal. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Jackets. The hero in Chapel Hill. Georgia Tech to the very last second grinds out the win in Chapel Hill.
Boy, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. Appreciate the $2 super chat from Nerdstop. Says Nate McCullum to be Jeff's new get back coach. Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Cdogg. How are you, sir? And I've got you on the wrong screen, so let me flip that over here. What's going on, buddy? I do this every time. It wouldn't be a show that I'm hosting if I didn't forget to cut my sound on for you. What's going on, dude? You looking thug right now, dude. I love it. What's going on?
Oh yeah. What's up? Nothing. Just freaking enjoying the latest Yellow Jackets victory. I don't know about you,
buddy. Well, let's just, there's so much to talk about tonight. Before we get into it, though, let me roll through the chat real quick. I'm sure you'll have some things to say about this. J-Bell says 4 in a row, UNC, let's go. Appreciate it, buddy. Nico Greek, member of the channel, says 5-2 feels good. A lot of work on still, but feels good as always. The hell with Geoff. I guess that's the lowercase G now, is the hell to hell with Geoff. Or that's what we're going with. John Burns says, can we win 8+ a bowl? That'd be a lot. We'll talk about it tonight. Spearnatic. I'm assuming Spearnatic sounds like a FSU fan. He says at least Georgia Tech can win games. We can, especially when Geoff Collins is the DC. Did you like my meme game? I don't know if you saw it. There was one.
Yeah, I saw a couple of them.
The 2 buttons, like get a stop or let Jamal run 68 yards. I don't know. KS says, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Fitting like a glove. Elliot Waller, KS is a member of the channel too. Elliot Waller, also a member, says, go Jackets, to hell with Geoff Collins. Can we get a to hell with Geoff Collins?
To hell with Geoff Collins.
God, I hate him, dude. Yeah. The beef is real. CJ says hashtag F Geoff Collins, which I think I can decode that one. F Geoff Collins. David says, Wrecker, how many yards did Clown's get back coach have? Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. I did see his get back coach, by the way. It was a fairly large man, and I guess he didn't do a good enough job. You think Geoff will blame the get back coach in the press conference?
He'll blame everybody but himself.
Now, I do have some bad news. They're on a bye this week, and I listened to Inside Carolina on the way out of Chapel Hill. We actually stayed in Durham. It was out of Durham. They don't usually do interviews on a bye week. But if there's anyone that will break that tradition, it is Geoff Collins. I'm sure he's giddy.
I wish they would do an interview. That's so sad.
It's soft. Now, he might scurry off into his little hole. And I'm not lying. Like, I didn't see him sprint to the sideline, but as soon as the game ended, me, the 2 guys that went with me, Josh Pittman, who's a member of the channel, and Crayfish, we couldn't find him. We could not find the guy, so I'm pretty sure he sprinted off. Robert says this song, yeah. Where you going, Geoff? Why you running so fast? Coon Lin says, we are currently listed on ESPN as a 7.5-point dog to Notre Dame. I think we can win that game. We can win any game, but there is a lot of things that have to be corrected this week to win that game.
We'll get into that probably towards the end of the show.
Yeah, John Burns says money, 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 money. Send a check. Tech has raised $300 million in a $500 million initiative. Let's make it happen. Yeah. GT Forever says Brent Key solos over that loser Collins any day. Is that like in Dark Souls? Like he soloed Collins? He didn't need to summon for it. Josh Pittman, who went with us up there, says that's one beautiful woman in front of that guy in the Jamal Haynes jersey. Yes, that is Mrs. Pittman there. Robert, no, GT Forever. That's why Brent Key solos. Geoff Collins in the chat says we played hard. Yeah, you did play hard. That's all that matters. Yeah, if playing hard equated to wins, Geoff Collins wouldn't have. I can't even say they played hard. I mean, I guess they played hard, but they didn't play all that smart. Haynes King is injured because of you. Was that his game plan all along? That's dirty. Mike Doug back in the house. What's going on, Mike Doug says, what's up, Wreck Talk Nation? And Vince Wilkes, hadn't seen him in the chat in a minute. Glad he's in here. Says there needs to be a 30 for 30 on how big of a scam artist Scooter is. Well, we'll see if I can't make that happen for you. Fix the special teams. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So that basically gets us caught up. Yes, I will be at the Notre Dame game. There's a lot to break down in this game. You were streaming it. I was there. I did get to watch some of it before I took a nap and got back to Chapel Hill. So you probably have a better feel because I couldn't see that well on the field.
Yeah.
Tell us what your thoughts are.
Obviously we're all happy today. Because of the just insane play by Jamal Haynes, but That was a rough game to watch. I was sick.
Oh yeah.
I was streaming and I streamed the game. I was on the ledge there towards the end, and I just had a bad feeling all game. Like we throughout the entire time we would get up a 10-point lead or so and then let them claw their way back, and I just had a terrible feeling about it. And then of course Haynes King comes out. Honestly, yesterday it looked like two bad teams playing. We made so many freaking mistakes, man, and just shot ourselves in the foot. We keep doing it.
Yep.
But, Duke and North Carolina aren't that good. So we of course, are able to beat them. For anybody who says that I'm a blind homer or it's just sunshine and rainbows for me, choke on that, because I was sick watching that game.
I put his volume up. That was on me.
It was rough, man. It was rough. I think I can turn it up if I need to.
No, I got you. That was on me.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, poor Haynes King was playing hurt and still able to put up, 34 points or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I losing him is a huge blow. God, what isn't there to talk about? We had, defense was frustrating. We couldn't contain freaking Criswell to save our lives. I mean, especially towards the end.
3 straight plays. Did you forget to pay the power bill?
Yeah, someone, some trickster cut the lights off behind me for some reason.
Yeah, speaking of beautiful women, one just turned the light off on you. But yeah, I mean, there was 3 straight plays where it's not like a design quarterback draw. Just the protection, or he doesn't have anywhere to go downfield, and he just scrambles for 10 yards.
Yeah,
3 times in a row, and that's been a problem for us all year.
Our pass rush was terrible again, at least towards the end of the game. I think that's a result of the depth. It felt like we were getting after him a lot more.
Well, they didn't allow us to sub toward the end. And let's talk about that real quick, because I thought that was horseshit what we did. I get
the injury,
the faking the injuries. I mean, we had to have 5 faked injuries on their last drive, and we still couldn't stop them. Like,
that was bad.
Get a stop. Like, are we really that soft at times that we have to fake injuries? Like, I'm embarrassed that happened.
Me too. I
really am.
I was really upset, and we've never done that before. I do not like to see that. We have never done that.
No, we haven't, and they still drove right down the field on us. Now, they had to settle for a field goal there, because we did make a good hit on was it Nesbitt, but they ended up incompleting. And look, there was bad coaching all around. You have what might be the best running back in the ACC in Amarion Hampton. And how many times did they throw when they got down there inside the 5? Like 3 times or 2 times? You'd think.
Yeah.
And that led to us getting the ball back with 38 seconds or something, or 40 seconds. Like, it was bad coaching from that standpoint. I listened to Russ talk about it. That was one thing he was, infuriated with.
Yeah.
But and then we get the ball back, and I see people, I see Gary Brooks saying, lucky. We had to block that still. It wasn't luck. It's kind of, I agree with you, Cdogg. There was a lot of bad play all around. I wouldn't say we got lucky. I would say we hit a big play when we needed to toward the end. We had the ball last and ended up working out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah. I that was by the skin of our teeth. I mean,
can you imagine being there?
God.
Everything that I built my whole channel around this moment. This was my moment that Eminem's talking about in that song.
Yeah.
And then they tie it up.
To seize everything you ever wanted.
It is everything I ever wanted. And dude, I'm not lying. Like I said in the video, my butthole was puckered up so tight, you could have shoved a rock up there and got a diamond back.
No, I know.
My bottom lip is tore up, not from chewing. I was just biting down on my bottom lip, just like, oh my God.
I know, dude. I know. So, I mean, what part of the game are we talking about right now? Because I had something to say about the freaking pass rush at the end. They're just standing there on one of these plays. I'm actually scrubbing through the game right now. It's honestly pathetic, but it's kind of what I expected. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we have no depth there, and that was awful. It seemed like we were getting to them a lot better towards the beginning of the game.
We were able to get. This is the other thing. We got 2 turnovers in that game, and it came down to the wire like that.
Should have been 3.
It should have been 3, but that to me is another coaching snafu. Why we didn't take a timeout? Like, you can do. I'm pretty sure you can do a thing where, like, hey, I want to take a timeout to review, and then if the review proves that the ruling on the field is overturned, you're not penalized by taking that timeout. Like, that could have been the game there too, because it was clearly a fumble. If they're giving him forward progress, I don't get it, because if he would have fallen into the end zone, they would have called it a touchdown. So, in my opinion, it has to be a fumble. Why didn't we take a timeout there if they weren't going to review it? Key's done it before, and that was a huge play.
I agree. I agree. That was ACC refs, man, are garbage.
Yeah, that was like the quickest forward progress ever called in the history of modern football, if that's the case. What's going on, Traveling Fools? Zach Jones says defense has to be better. Notre Dame has outscored their opponents 174-41 since losing to NIU. Notre Dame won't slip up again. We need King. Rest in peace, Tylee Craft. So let me address that too really quick. Dude, I'm glad I had sunglasses on during the game, because they played that thing for Tylee Craft during the game. And just as a parent, dude, like it just hits me hard. I can't even go there mentally if that was to happen to my kid. Tragic for North Carolina football. It was like their cancer like day or what, the same thing we had last week. So my heart definitely goes out to the UNC faithful. It's devastating. He actually died before the game. That wasn't released until after the game. So when you see him hugging his mom on the field, like, he had already passed. So it's just there's a GoFundMe set up for them. I'll try and put it in the chat after, or maybe I'll post a tweet about it. But I wanted to address that really quick. But moving on, like there's a good number of things that like have to be corrected. One thing that I haven't talked about since the game is dumb penalties. Like we pin them inside the 5 once with a punt. All right. And then we do it the second time and we get penalized for, I forget what the penalty was, but we have to re-kick. It's a bad kick and they get great field position. Like, how many times have we seen that this year? And as much as I like Key, it's like, okay, this keeps happening week over week. 2 games now, we've had special team scores for the other team. Like, this is where I don't understand, like, why Ricky Brumfeld was in the conversation for being like the special teams coordinator for LA. Like, that makes no sense. Our special teams, if I had to grade it right now, is an F. It's an absolute F.
I mean, they have their moments sometimes, but covering kickoffs and punts is abysmal. And
even fielding punts right now. That snap hit him in the hands, and it should have been blocked.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I just, and Aiden Burr cannot kick from the right hash. You know, we had a moment, which I'm sure we'll get to talking about Pyron, but which I think they mishandled, Pyron in the game.
1,000%.
So they put him in. Well, I'm sure we'll get into it, but they put him in, run him on first down for like 2 yards, then run the ball for like 3 yards, and then take a timeout to think about it. They think really hard about it. And then they run, and then they, on 3rd and 5, they run him again to the right. And of course he doesn't get it because everybody in the stadium knows he's going to run. All 12 people there know he's going to run. And then now Aiden Burr has to kick a field goal from the right hash, which he hasn't made one all year from that range. So I don't know that was just so dumb. It was so dumb.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like not knowing the strengths of your players.
Yeah, if you're going to run it there anyways, why not try and center it up?
Center it for him.
Or get it on the left hash or err toward being on the left hash. And that sets aside the thing. And this really pisses me off. And this is a big thing for me with Key and whatever's going on with the play calling. Like, we seem terrified to throw, and we seem terrified to let Zach Pyron throw, which is insane to me. This is a guy that's already started for you, that has experience, that has the ability to make plays with his arm, that it might be one of the best backup quarterbacks in the country. And us not letting him throw in that situation should have cost us that football game. It really should have cost us that football game. Nate McCullum fumbles. We get the ball on their side of the field, and we get 0 points out of it. That is going to get you beat by most of the teams remaining on our schedule, and I don't understand it. And there needs to be a question in the post game or in the next press conference of like, why like Pyron's going to start, setting aside the fact that you trot a 60% Haynes King out there and let him get obliterated. Like, you have to protect the kid from himself. Of course, Haynes King is always going to say that he wants to go out there and play. It's infuriating to me.
Yeah. And the Haynes King, credit to him, he puts up 34 points hurt. But, there were several times, Singleton or whatever was open and he was overthrown because I guess I thought it was a leg injury from Haynes King, but is it his throwing arm? Is that what it is?
Well, he came out for a concussion, I believe.
A concussion?
Or I could be wrong. Is there any? I don't think there's been an official word on it. I feel like we're not going to see Haynes King next week, nor should we see Haynes King next week.
No. He's been playing great this year, but if he's hurt,
and if it's his throwing leg, like if it's his right leg that he plants on, that would explain why he can't throw downfield right now.
Yeah. So, he missed 3 times, I remember, wide open receiver or who had his man beat or whatever and just overthrew him. And that is like mind numbing to watch.
Yeah.
Luckily, Jacoby Criswell did the same thing. I was not scared. I was not scared of Jacoby. I think he hit one of them. But
well, and the one he hit, and talking about Georgia Tech's defense, like,
oh my God, that was awful.
It gets blown up. He throws the ball straight up in the air. The ball, I swear to God, I could have watched the entire Matrix trilogy in the time it took for the ball to come down to the receiver, and we can't get under. That should have been a pick.
That should have been a pick. I watched that happen every time. I said this every time. If you're watching a freaking football game and you see the quarterback getting hit and he's falling backwards and throws off his back foot and just heaves it up in the air, every time that's an interception. Every single time.
Except that time.
Why not? Because whoever was covering that receiver had their head in the clouds. They were,
they stopped. They gave up on the play.
Yeah, they gave up on the play. Exactly. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And
who was that, dude?
It was 6, I think. Number 6.
Want names.
Yeah, well, it's names. A coaching.
I want them to answer for that.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. He's like
Shelley. I think it was Shelley.
So frustrating, dude. Absolutely frustrating. That should have been a pick. And the ball was, like you said, it was in the air forever. And the receiver had to go over there and wait for it to come down. That's the perfect opportunity to go pick it off. That is just mind numbing.
And we let Criswell get in a rhythm. Like, he was hitting throws. He was hitting them, across the middle. And it's just rinse and repeat with Tech's defense. So,
So this is a good point here. Talk is Pitt. This is a more general observation of the game. But a lot of people kind of felt like us, like upset. He says we sound like him when Pitt beat them. Like he was, even though they won, he was still upset.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I kind of looked at that game and I felt a little bit better about it. Like, yeah, we struggle with UNC and James Madison blew them out 70 billion to nothing, but at least Pitt's a good team and they struggle with them too. So that did make me feel a little bit better about it. But
that's exactly how I feel about this one. Like, yeah, it's great to beat Collins and all that, for my own narrative. And it's always great to get a win, but you just look at it and you're like, that's going to get our ass beat. I agree with Mojo. He says King needs a week or two off and Pyron deserves a chance to prove himself. And this is something I talked about in the video today. Key should remember Pyron had a lot to do with him getting the head coaching job. And that's what's disgusting to me is that is a fact. And you don't trust him to throw the ball. The whole thing that sprung Haynes King on that play, this is something Tantor talked about, was we let Pyron throw the play before. He kind of hit someone on like a skinny post or a seam. Then they had to respect that, and it had them on their heels to spring the Haynes King run. You can't just beat your head against a wall with we're going to run up the middle 3 times. We're going to run Pyron up the middle. Hell, first of all, you're going to get Pyron hurt next if you just keep doing that with Pyron. So I'm as frustrated with the coaching right now as as anybody.
I mean Pyron, he was playing meaningful snap. I mean he started a couple games and was throwing the ball well, and that was 2 years ago when he was a true freshman. So you're gonna have to trust him. I mean look, he gets the start. I mean I would think that they, didn't have him throw the ball because he, was thrust into that position in the middle of a game. I imagine that
had
if
part
he gets,
to do with it.
I imagine if he gets the start this week, if the plan is to start him, then obviously they're going to let him throw. I mean, he can throw. I don't know what the fear of that was. It was very clear that it was very clear, and I'm glad we didn't go into overtime, because if that was the plan, then
I think we would have lost in overtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we would have lost in overtime. And you're telling me Pyron isn't a much better quarterback now than he went when he was a freshman and went to Blacksburg and won?
Yeah, with 2 years developing and practicing under Winky, and I'm sure he's good at this point, and I actually feel good with him at quarterback.
I'm not worried about quarterback.
I'm actually excited to see him play.
I am too.
I'm excited. I wish it wasn't against goddamn Notre Dame, but
I think that's the least of our work. Like, I can't tell you how much confidence I have in Zach Pyron starting. I'm really not worried about it. What I'm worried about is Leonard throwing for 303 touchdowns on us, or something to that effect. Or special. Look, I hate to say this, but we had some things happen in that game that looked like Collins was on the wrong sideline, like he was on the Tech sideline. We're in like a timeout where it's 4th and 3. We're gonna go for it. Then we come out and get a substitution infraction after a timeout. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but that bullshit is textbook Geoff Collins type stuff. Yeah. And I don't understand when he's on the opposite sideline. Like, that needs to be a question too. How in the world do we get a substitution infraction out of a timeout? How? It seems like at times we're trying to be too cute with the personnel we want to get in and out. And my thing is like, look, instead of that, just ride with whoever you're in there. That's better than taking a penalty and then having to punt 4th and 6 when we're already having trouble. Anytime a team tries to get after the punter, we don't do well with it. I don't know why a team wouldn't try to block every punt against us right now.
Yeah, and we almost had one block, I guess, Shanahan dropped it and got it off, and it was a terrible looking punt. But
yeah, not to mention
God
their
almighty.
punter was sucking early in that game. Awful punts. We were getting great field position, and then we kind of did the hold our beer thing, and ended up, in my opinion, having worse special teams. Do we have another punter like that can hit from 40 yards? Or I don't know how many punters we have, but appreciate the $10 from Joel S. He says, all I know is to hell with Geoff Collins and to hell with Georgia. That is true. Now, they tried to lose to Mississippi State this week and then had Kirby Smart, push Mississippi State's quarterback, which I know they're saying like, oh, he didn't know it was him. Let Brent Keys shove Carson Beck and see how Georgia responds to it.
Yeah,
that was BS.
Yeah, or Dabo, anybody like that, and they're defending him. They're defending him, saying, "Oh, his visor came off." What does that have to do with anything? His visor, it took his visor off. Like what?
It was
like, dude, I lost my visor, bro.
Oh my God, Cdogg, I can't see you now. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, now I can. Come on, dude.
What is that even? I don't even know, dude. That was ridiculous. And people are giving him shit about it, but he needs to answer. He needs to answer for that.
Yeah. Keep going. I need to get some water here real quick. I done got fired up.
Talk his pit. I remember when Collins refused to shake Narduzzi's hand after the game. That was my first video. Huh? Yeah, I was at that game. That was my very first video on my page, and it was the first game I ever took my wife to there at Bobby Dodd, which was a freaking travesty in the COVID year, and to think I defended him. I mean, I was I believed in Collins. Everybody believed in Collins, though. Come on, can't say I'm the only one. Only thing is, y'all don't have proof. Yeah, that was Talk His Pit used to be like my nemesis on YouTube because we were like arguing so much about that Pitt game, and then I really hated Pitt after that, and like I wanted to beat them so bad, and they come out and blow us out next year. Jeff Sims like throws a pick six on like the second play.
Well, Talk His Pit should hate Collins as much as anybody with how he did, Narduzzi.
That's what he commented in the chat about the handshake. And then after Geoff Collins gets fired, he goes to Pitt's spring practice. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, it's something. And like I said, I can confirm he didn't have socks on during the game. Also, I've seen people commenting. I couldn't tell because his back was to me the whole time, and I had players kind of obscuring. I don't know why he had a walkie-talkie and a headset on.
He did
the whole game.
He did.
It's redundancy.
He had a pink walkie-talkie too.
I haven't seen any other coach have a walkie-talkie with
I
their
haven't
headset.
Either. It's one of his ideas, man.
This is elite. They can hear me twice as well with two audio sources.
Pitt says he was trying to be their new DC. Is that true?
I bet he was. OC. So he rips his hand away from Narduzzi and then tries to get a job from. You know what that's like? On our way back today, we stopped at Bojangles coming out of Durham, and evidently it was just an awful area. And there was a guy a crackhead begging for money. And so he comes up to my vehicle, and the people that were riding with me learned, and I had told him on the way up there, like, I don't F's with that. And I was like, dude, get away. And so he called me all these awful things. And then he went to ask for money. After that, he called me like MFer and all this and went to ask for money from the guy behind me. That's kind of like Geoff Collins asking Pat Narduzzi for a job. Appreciate the $5. Mike Doug says Jeff's mom refused to breastfeed him as a baby. She told him she just wanted to be friends.
Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch.
That's rough. That's a rough one. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, that was I mean, the truth is we really should have blown them out in that game. You should have been able to take advantage of the turnovers.
Yeah.
You get to I'm not thrilled as a Tech fan, even after 4 in a row and beating Collins and Chapel Hill.
I'm just glad that we won. First of all, there were 3 games, obviously, that I would have crashed out, the likes of which you've never seen if we lost this year.
Yeah.
Being VMI just because they're an FCS team, Georgia State because obviously we just need to be the best team in Atlanta. We have no business losing to a freaking Group of 5 team in the same city as us. That's humiliating.
No.
And of course UNC just because the whole Geoff Collins thing. So won all those 3. So my mental health for the first time in years is I'm of sound mind, and well, it's all thanks to Geoff Collins, but for all the wrong reasons this year. I mean, last year he's caused when he was our coach, he caused me so much anguish and mental distress. Well, thanks to him this year, I'm of sound mind, and a lot of people, I'll bust out my Kanye right here. A lot of people wanted to know what I was going to do if we lost to North Carolina. I guess we'll never know.
It's a mystery. The search for our mental health breakdown continues. Yeah, and my hair survives. I had said I would shave my head, and I have thick, luxurious Fabio hair now, which I've worked very hard on, and it survives as well.
So, one thing that does make this loss or this close win, because obviously we all wanted to just blow them out.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that does make this better is that the way it ended, it seemed like they were going to come back and win, and we just ripped it away from them. Obviously it's pure poetry that Jamal Haynes. Go ahead and tell the Jamal Haynes story. It's poetry that he was the one to put the nail in the coffin of the game. Tell them
so I mentioned this in the video earlier today.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back.
This is the whole thing that, people who I guess start watching my channel and the first thing they see is me react to a Geoff Collins video. There was even a Syracuse guy in there saying, God, you just sound like a jilted lover. Like, this is way, overkill. What is wrong with you? Get over it. Move on. And I get how people would think that if they don't know the whole backstory. And I can't think, and I guess I'll drop it here. I'll do it in another video. I'm going to do a video with the reasons I hate Geoff Collins and what that's about. I'll tell you 2 things. With Jamal Haynes, you can have a kid early enrollee, have his scholarship, and then he can start in the spring as opposed to coming in during the fall. Well, when Geoff Collins was coach, come over here. You're committed to Georgia Tech. We're committed to you. Come on down here. We got your scholarship. You can early enroll, start in the spring. Well, between the time Geoff had that conversation with him and the time he was ready to come on campus, Geoff said, yep, sorry, buddy. Actually, we gave your scholarship to a transfer. All right. Which this is what I'm saying with the hate for Geoff Collins. It's not just that he's a bad coach. He's a bad person. He's a piece of shit human being. So he gives Jamal's scholarship away. And then even after Jamal is on campus, he wants to cut him. He wants to cut him after treating him in that way. So what Cdogg is talking about, it's so poetic that Jamal goes off for 170 plus yards on top of he has the game-winning 68-yard run. I have another story. I'll save it for members. Already know the story. It's actually what actually happened with Demo. I'll release a video on that at some point this week, or you can become a member now and you'll know about it. But yeah, that's what that was about.
Did you mention that he had? It surprised me that this week he straight up came out and said it.
Jamal did, yeah. He didn't say that story by name, but he said, hey, it's personal. I got a chip on my shoulder about it, that kind of thing.
That's crazy. Usually you don't get that from the players, so that really confirms that story. It's cool. It's just so cool when they just straight up
lore
and say stuff like that. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So Absolute cinema. I mean,
You couldn't
God
script
almighty.
it any better. Appreciate the $10 from Josh Pittman, who says, "Great trip, man. You and Cray are the goats." Cray was great. Also, so we went up there together, and like I'm kind of I'm not pussyfooting around, but I have a lot going on with what I have to do to make money, and like this last week, Crayfish messages me on Discord, and he's like, "Hey, dude, do you just want me to kind of take charge and like coordinate some of this stuff for like the Airbnb and stuff?" And I was like, "Yes, you don't even have to ask ever again. Yes, please do that." And so shout out to him. Like he really helped me out with coordinating a lot of these things because sometimes I'm not the greatest about it. But yeah, and I see people saying Jamal Haynes wouldn't get drafted. He might not, but neither did JP either. And why can't I remember his name? The running back for the 49ers now.
JP Mason?
JP Mason. JP Mason wasn't drafted either, and he's balling out. So just because someone isn't drafted is not the end of the story.
I had a buddy who is an NFL fan text me the other day, and he was like, man, Jordan Mason for the 49ers is really good. I told him, yeah, man, we had him and Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield on the same team and won 3 games.
Yeah, you have to try and be that ass.
Yeah.
Appreciate Chris Sutherland gifted 1 WreckTalk membership to Sven Krutzberg. I probably butchered that, but Sven's kind of an honorary Tech fan. He kind of sits between Mississippi State, I feel like.
Sven, I got to give you credit. He has been 100% on his predictions so far for Georgia Tech. He predicted us to beat Florida State, lose to Syracuse, and all that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's a genius, so he should start selling his picks, I guess.
I wish he would have picked us to beat like Georgia and stuff because it's all coming true.
Oh, that's true.
So
Sven went to the FSU game this year. So, Chris, thanks for gifting the membership. Sven, congratulations on getting a membership tonight. We got it going on. Jamie Chadwell, the next coach at UNC. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the other poetic justice, I guess, is we know this is more than likely the last time we'll face Collins. I'm not saying it's the last, but probably at a Power 4 school at a coordinator level. Like,
oh, he's fired. He's done. Mac Brown is on his last legs there. And I don't see, and I don't have any hate for Mac Brown.
no.
I poke fun and stuff because it's, I don't, North Carolina, whatever. But Mac Brown's on his last legs there. He's going to be retired after this year.
Yeah, asked to
and
leave.
Geoff Collins is going to be fired, and he's not. I don't know how you hire him at a Power 5 level at least after this.
They get worse every game. I mean, like I said in the video today, they're watching and experiencing what we did at Georgia Tech just in fast forward, and they only have to put up for it for a year. Now, shout out to Crayfish. We need to talk about this because when I looked up like top coordinator pay, Geoff wasn't listed in that article, but Crayfish goes and finds his contract from the University of North Carolina website, because if you work for a public institution and your pay, part of your pay is from the government, like that's public, your contract is. This son of a bitch, Geoff Collins, can you believe this? Makes $1.1 million base salary annually. How do you, and Crayfish brought this up, he said, why didn't they just try and hire Tyler Stantucci? They'd be way better off and they didn't have to pay him $1.1 million.
Yeah. Well, our defense isn't great either, but it's not as bad as Geoff Collins.
We don't have 4- and 5-star studs all across the defensive line.
This is why they chose to hire Geoff Collins. They got sold the bill of goods just like we did. Look, life's too short to learn only from your own mistakes. Yeah. You should have seen what happened. You should have seen what happened at Georgia Tech and stayed the hell away. Or at least, if you're going to hire him, because he was a good defensive coordinator back in the day, whatever, you should have at least not given him this insane contract. What for? Nobody was knocking down his door to freaking get him to come on their staff. There's no competition. Nobody wanted him but old senile freaking Mac Brown.
Well, no
And you
one
give
was
him
going to
this
give him that
contract.
contract for 1.1 million. And as I read his contract, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a contract expert. But as I read it, if you fire him, it's a 2-year contract. It ends in February. If you fire him before the contract matures, you have to pay him $1.1 million as his buyout.
I wish I got paid to just go and ruin everything. Because I could do that easily. I said this the other day to Wreck Talk. I for some reason, I'm expected to go into my job and do a good job.
Yeah.
I wish I was one of these guys that just got paid to go just screw it up, because I could freaking do that too.
Yeah, I've done it before many times, and no one said, hey, here's millions of dollars for the benefit of you effing everything up here. They treat him like a CEO that bounces around from company to company and gets a golden parachute out of there.
Exactly. I mean, then some other idiot comes along and hires him too. Makes no sense. So that's insane. And look, I got to say this about Geoff Collins too. Well, not about Geoff Collins, but people need to answer, okay, for what they freaking have said about Geoff Collins.
Yes.
Being a coordinator.
Yes.
Josh Pate, first and foremost. Okay.
Oh, he
Whose
never
fault
will.
was it this time? Whose fault was it this time that Geoff Collins is an epic failure? Because it wasn't his fault at Georgia Tech, was it?
Nope.
Whose fault is it this time? I'm dying to know. All these people, and they, and it's not just Pate. There's tons of people that fell for the freaking and bought the snake oil. And he even did because this actually happened. Geoff Collins goes to Josh Pate after he gets fired and asks him what he should do. And Josh Pate says, look, take a year, whatever, your stock will only go up, right? Your stock will go up, do media for a year. Well, nobody wants to hire Geoff Collins as a media person.
Yeah.
But look, Dan Mullen did it. And Dan Mullen, guess what? People are talking about Dan Mullen when they talk about hires. Nobody wanted Dan Mullen as soon as he got fired. Now he's starting to get on, the hiring lists. So Geoff Collins did the same tactic, and it works. And
after a single year, by the way.
Yeah, and it worked. So he comes in, and look, this is a senior laden defense, right, for North Carolina. That's what they said in the press conference.
Yeah.
I've watched more freaking Collins press conferences this year than Britt Keys. But
me too.
This is a senior laden team for North Carolina, and they are awful. Whose fault is it? Who's the common denominator here? I'm freaking dying to know.
Well,
these people need to answer.
You can't, I even heard the Inside Carolina guys. Now, there is one funny thing they said. We were listening to this coming out of Durham on the way home. They're like, one of the guys is like super country. I hadn't actually seen him before. And he was like, he's supposed to be the minister of mayhem. Well, he left the mayhem on the bench Saturday. But they were saying, well, people don't turn a defense around. You got to get your talent in there. And I'm like, listen, he was at Georgia Tech talking about UNC's defense, which has been nothing but a skid mark on their university for the past 20 years. Geoff says, those are the defensive players I want. Those are the guys I want on my defense. His sorry ass gets over there to Chapel Hill and then gives up 2,000 plus yards of offense in 4 games. So it's either you don't have any talent or Geoff can't recognize it. It's got to be one of those. Now, his stick is starting to wear thin in North Carolina, too. Like that, they've already figured out what
Yeah.
I've been yelling about
Yeah,
for the
and
whole offseason.
lucky for them. I mean, lucky for them, they only got to put up with it for 1 year and pay up 1.1 million. We had to put up with it for 3.5 years and pay him 11 million
And
to
pay him
leave,
10 times as much.
Yeah,
And put
So-
up with his ass 3 times as long.
So lucky for them. We fell into the trap first. But I mean,
Well-
these people. Look, you cannot give these people enough shit. I calling all Tech fans to freaking. I need the question to be asked to
Yep.
Josh Pate and this fifth quarter ACC goober on Twitter. He comes on after the Minnesota game. And he's like, man, Geoff Collins, this defense is night and day in North Carolina. And I pointed this out before. They said that last year about Gene Chizik. They were like, hey, hell, Gene Chizik's got this thing turned around. They only gave up 23 to Minnesota. It's Minnesota. They're terrible. They're a freaking terrible Big Ten team, of course. Anybody could, hold them to 20 points or whatever it is.
And they should have lost to Minnesota.
Exactly.
They had a doofus left footer kicker.
He literally gave up the 2-minute drill to lose the game, and the idiot kicker for Minnesota misses the kick. A chip shot.
And then he gives up
the 2-minute drill.
He gives up the 16-second drill to Georgia Tech. We didn't need 2 minutes. We needed 8 seconds or something.
My God. And then, they play a couple nobodies for however many weeks. And these people didn't have to answer for their stupid Geoff Collins takes. But it's time to start calling out these people. It's been apparent.
Yeah. Where are they at? Because we eat shit on our bad takes, and we've had some. People blow up the comment section. Where's the people asking Josh Pate, hey, your butt buddy and boyfriend Geoff Collins sucks, and you are flat out wrong. Yeah. Josh Pate will never admit he's wrong. Never. About anything. Real quick, I appreciate the $5 from Josh Pittman. Appreciate the super chat. And all the people that super chat. If you super chat, I will read it as immediately as possible. He says, we had UNC fans screaming at Geoff with us. W fans, by the way, they were cool. They were cool. The guy that sat next to Cray predicted to a T the last 30 seconds of the game. He's seen this shit. He knew what was going to happen. He said, they're going to march right down the field and win the game. They're going to score. He was right.
That's brutal.
And the guy lives in Atlanta, so he's seen it probably on both ends.
That is brutal. I used to do that same thing. I remember specifically in the Ole Miss game, 2 games before he got fired. It was 3rd and 16. I was like, oh boy, I can't wait to give this up. And sure enough, we gave up the 3rd and 16. And I lost it, dude. I went off and I tackled the camera. But it's just, you get used to, it's sad. It's so sad. I'm glad it's not here anymore.
I'm glad too. And it's so also textbook. Well, there's a lot of textbook going on here. That who does Collins say that name coaches that he loves to be, taught to? Dan Quinn, the guy that effed up a Super Bowl worse than any coach. And then he runs to Josh Pate, another charlatan, in my opinion. You were the one that tuned me into the week before when we had all the upsets and Miami almost lost to Cal. What did Josh Pate do? Enlighten the people into the genius of Josh Pate.
Yeah. So last weekend, what did you have? You had 4 top 10 teams lose. You had, it was counting 11, which was Southern Cal. You had Alabama, Tennessee, both lose, and you had what else was it? Missouri lose to Texas A&M, and Southern Cal lose to some Big Ten team, Wisconsin or something like that.
Yeah, and
Josh Pate. He said he titles his show "Volcanic Saturday Coming," and then he's going through his games and picks all these teams to win and cover, all the favorites to win and cover. So it's like, hey, and then he comes on the next week. And he's like, I told you it was a volcanic Saturday coming. Well, hell, you didn't pick any underdogs. He couldn't even pick them to cover.
Not a single. Yeah, didn't even take him on the line.
Yeah, he didn't take a single one on the line, and then he was not even taking underdogs to cover too. So I mean, yeah, he's definitely one of the types to not go back on his word. I made what I thought was a well put together argument video a couple years ago when he was blaming COVID. It was like right when Geoff Collins got fired, and he blamed COVID for his failures. And I made a video talking about it, and he actually commented on the video, but he commented doubling down on his stupid take, and it's like, dude, let it go, man.
Yeah, my algorithm,
Admit you were wrong, dude.
Hey, guys, I have a hot take. At some point this week, it will rain somewhere in the country.
Yeah.
Don't ask me where specifically and when. I don't want to talk about that.
That's like saying it'll rain somewhere. It'll rain somewhere in the country, but I'm picking it to not rain everywhere.
Yeah, where specifically will it rain? Nowhere.
Well, it's not gonna rain here, or here. But
yeah, but this guy's supposed to be some guru of media in college football, and we know his take. Like Talk is Pitt saying he picked Cal to beat him or something. Here's the thing: Josh Pate will nut hug any large fan base and never. First of all, he'll never give you a hot take. He's just not going to do that. He's going to ride the fence, and it's no surprise that him and Geoff Collins go to Diddy parties together. That's no surprise to anyone. That's elite highlight. Oh, the other thing someone else said in the chat, well, Jeff's still on pace to cost $1 million a win, isn't he? Yeah. Especially if he gets bought out, and let's say they did fire him in like the next few games, he'd make $2.2 million this year.
Oh my God! He said Tuckus Pitt says he picked Cal to beat them by double digits. Wow!
What an idiot! Why? Because Cal's like in the media now because they almost beat Miami.
Yeah, that was an upset. They were underdogs too. So he does pick an upset and loses. Now
the upset he picks is awful.
It's Cal. It's Cal, dude. You're kidding me.
Well, oh, I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, and he won't even when Key was killing his interim. He didn't say anything Key's interim year.
Oh, dude, nothing about it. Nothing. The only time he mentions Key is when he's saying how we missed out on Willie Fritz. And what's Willie Fritz doing this year? Oh, what's he? For anybody who doesn't know, Willie Fritz went to Houston. And
how they doing? How they doing?
Yeah,
right
can
now?
we check in? Can we get a check in on Houston? I got it right here.
All right.
On my little football app. Anybody else use the little red football app?
No,
I love that. I love this thing.
Is it bussin'?
Bussin', yeah. They have a losing record right now. They're 4-2. They're 4-2 right now. With one of those ones being against Rice, the other being a shutout. They've been shut out twice. Good Lord. Been shut out twice this year. Yeah. Should have hired Willie Fritz though. In 7 years, dude, he would have had us to a bowl game.
Yeah, this guy's your boy, a rage gamer, says to who the 20 people in your whole fan base. Well, you spell boy B-O-I, so I don't know if we should take anything you say seriously.
B-I-G-B-O-I. Hey, what's wrong with spelling it that way, bro? We got Big Boy coming to town here.
We got Big Boy coming in. I guess that's a loser take for me now that you've just completely contradicted me.
B-I-G-B-O-I. I can't let you disrespect it.
Mike,
this guy's
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna. This guy. This guy's not him though. He's a clown. I don't know.
Mike Doug 70 says Geoff Collins IQ test results came back negative. Dang. Dang.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, you were the first person I heard said it, and I stole it, honestly, that Geoff Collins should be arrested for what he's doing. I mean,
for robbery, robbery anywhere else would get you arrested. Somehow Geoff Collins gets away with it though.
In attempted murder.
Attempted murder.
He's trying to kill a defense that was already on life support. He's pulling the plug on him.
Yeah, after having his way with us, that's a double homicide.
Yeah,
right there.
The charge this man with double homicide.
I know.
My God.
Jesus.
Well, let's talk about the Notre Dame game. So I admittedly, I'm going to have to watch Notre Dame this week and kind of get a feel. Here's what I know. They're a good deal more talented than you. They've already have had an embarrassing loss that's focused them. Someone in the chat said they'd outscored their opponents like 145-41 in the last since the NIU embarrassment. Tech's got to get their shit straight going into Notre Dame this week. First and foremost, your special teams need work. If you can't hit a field goal to save your life, if you're having trouble getting a punt off, if you can't cover a punt, or I tell you what we haven't even talked about that happened in this Notre Dame game. We squib after the Jamal Haynes run, didn't we squib kick it and they bring it back to the 40?
Yes.
That should have got you beat too.
Yeah. A lot of things should have got us beat. A lot of dumb stuff. And year two, it's like we regress. A lot of the stuff we didn't see last year. Why are we having why is there new problems? I don't like it.
No. The squib kick never take the squib kick out of the special teams playbook. Just take it out. It's not working. So first and foremost, your special teams have to get better. Second, you're going to have to get a quarterback in Pyron who hasn't played a lot throwing the ball, or like he's really ran one play for you in a game this year, minus that one throw. So you got to get him ready. Like I said, I'm not as worried about that, but you've got to have some semblance of a pass rush. It improved a little bit in the past 2 weeks. We did get a strip fumble off a pass rush. That came from your safety, though, and I imagine Notre Dame is going to be able to light you up blitzing safeties. If you're having to blitz safeties to get pressure consistently, it's going to be a problem. How do you feel about Notre Dame? Go ahead.
We've done that before, and it's really cost us.
Yeah.
Didn't in the Duke game, we blitzed the safety, and that part of the field was completely open, and they hit us for a huge play. They punished us for that one for sure. But how do I feel about the Notre Dame game in general?
Yeah, what's your take on it?
This makes me sick to say. I feel like we're going to get our asses kicked.
Yeah.
Have you seen Notre Dame play since the Northern Illinois loss? They've been on a warpath. They're really good. I mean, that was just a fluke loss to a MAC team. It is what it is. It happens, I guess. They, did the same thing last year, but we never, ever beat Notre Dame.
No. And we don't play well in the bends.
We never beat Notre Dame. I'm going to pull up Winsipedia because this actually makes me sick.
We have to have 2 wins in the past 50 years against Notre Dame.
I really hate Notre Dame. They're one of the teams that I hate the most. And we never beat them. We are not owned by a team more than Notre Dame owns us. We're like the bad guys in the Rudy movie. 30-6. 30
all time.
6 all time.
And I'm sure we those 6 wins, probably most of them came before 1960 or something.
07 is the last time we beat them.
I remember that.
And then in 1999. So then it goes all the way back to, most of the time we played was in the dang freaking 20s, and then played them again a bunch in the 40s and then in the 70s. But and then we played them a bunch in the 70s. But I mean, so we, it makes me sick. I freaking hate Notre Dame, and we are just not that great of a team.
We're struggling.
I really hate to admit it, and we're starting a backup quarterback, which I believe in Pyron. I really think is. I wish it was any other game besides Notre Dame.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
don't accuse me of being a freaking homer because I think I just have to humble myself right now and face the music. Do we have a chance in the game? Of course, we have a chance in every game. But dude, we've been doing the same crap for 3 weeks in a row now. Louisville, Duke, North Carolina now, making stupid freaking mistakes. And Duke and North Carolina just suck. Like they suck. Those two teams suck. And you got a first-year head coach at Duke and a last-year head coach at North Carolina. And it's just those are two crappy teams. So we survive by the skin of our teeth. And it's just not going to work against Notre Dame.
No.
If we clean all that crap up, we're going to have to do stuff that we haven't done yet to beat Notre Dame, and have to not do stuff that we've been doing consistently to beat them. And that's how I feel about it. It's bad, but we pulled off some crazy upsets under Key, and we're not counted out of anything, but it could become apparent early that it could get out of hand or whatever. What would we have to do to win? Definitely establish the run.
I actually don't know
time
about
of possession and own time of possession. No,
that's one. I guess that's one path. I mean, one, you got to clean up the stupid. You can't have stupid penalties. You can't.
Of course,
you got to clean up that stuff. You can't give up special teams touchdowns. These are all givens for most any game, though. I think there's a caveat to this game. It is interesting. Like, it sucks that Haynes King is injured. He was playing great, and he was playing great injured. You weren't even getting 100% of him. I do think Pyron starting might force the hand of the play calling to be more pass heavy, though. I do think that Pyron is really good throwing the ball, and he's been working in the system for 2 more years. You might see more downfield throwing with Pyron. I do feel like if you win this game, you would probably have to win it in a shootout. And that's might be more likely with Pyron. Well, I say that because I don't think our defense is going to be able to stop Notre Dame. Like, I think Notre Dame's going to score 40 points in this game. I think the line's too low. I think 7.5. This line should be 13, 14.5 to me.
That's why I suggested that we might, try to own time of possession and stuff like that, to where, because we're not deep on defense. I don't think we can win a freaking shootout. I mean, like I said, we got a backup quarterback, and I was looking at how Northern Illinois did it. That game was 22-19 or whatever it was. That's the formula they use. Now NIU was the coach was nice enough to go tell him what he did to beat him. I wish he hadn't have done that.
What he said.
After the Notre Dame game, the Northern Illinois coach got in touch with Marcus Freeman and said, "Look, this is how we beat you.
Why would you do that?
This is what we did." I don't know. He's just a nice guy, I guess.
Like, now that I beat your ass, here's how. Like, that's like insult to injury.
You didn't hear about that?
No, dude.
Yeah, dude. He's like, "This is what we did," and so ever since then, Notre Dame's been kicking everyone's ass they played. So,
well, if they did it running the ball, here's the thing. We've ran the ball against 2 defenses that I don't think are great. Yeah. In fact, the strength of Duke's defense was their pass defense. They'd had teams run on them before. Now, shout out to the O-line in this game. They went out and got it done. Respect to them. But Notre Dame's going to be able to take the run away from you if they want. Just because of the talent differential.
Well, remember, like, we weren't able to run the ball on Louisville or Syracuse.
And Syracuse is a horrible run defense themselves.
Yeah. So you have, I mean, who have we been able to run the ball on? Duke, North Carolina, and freaking Florida State.
Yeah.
So
you're going to have to throw the ball to win this game, I think. That's the whole point of me saying all that.
Well, you definitely can't be scared to throw the ball like
we have all year.
And I trust him. I trust him to throw. I mean, I do. I wish it wasn't against freaking Notre Dame, but I mean, as far as they're on defense, I mean, we have such a bad pass defense. Like these quarterbacks who are not very good passers have been able to throw on us.
Yeah.
So.
And Riley Leonard's a good quarterback. I mean.
Yeah. So that's like. I mean, it just is what it is on the defense. We just don't have a very good defense. So
well, and here's the other thing we haven't talked about. Notre Dame's probably going to have more fans in the stands than us at the Benz.
Yeah,
more than likely. So this
I hate that we're playing this stupid game in the Benz, dude.
Yeah, luckily now, thank God this is the last game that's part of that deal where we're playing one game a year in the Benz. And thank God, I'll take an aside here to say, thank God we now have an AD that understands football, that's renovating our stadium so that we can play games in our stadium in Bobby Dodd. That's one of the best venues in college football and right downtown Atlanta. You got the College Football Hall of Fame there. Thank God this is the last thing with Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm over it. I've bitched about this all year pretty much, but 2 conference games at home on a Saturday this year. That's it. 2.
Disgusting.
We have this great stadium. We're not even using it. Oh, we use it when the FCS teams come to town. But come on.
Yeah, and that's part of Collins and Stansbury. By the way, Stansbury's at NC State. How's that working out, buddy? Yeah. Glad you're there. There's something in the chat I wanted to address. Vince says the NIU coach did that because he's rooting for Marcus Freeman to have success there because of their similar background. I mean, okay.
I'm not sure the lore, but
the lore of the land. But let me pull up our schedule real quick. I mean, hell, I should have it memorized by now, but
so it's Notre Dame, then Miami, no?
Yeah, I think it's Miami, November 9th.
Well, so that's there's a bye week before Miami, right?
No, so we play Notre Dame in the Benz. Then we go on the road at Virginia Tech.
Oh, that's right.
And that game has been, Virginia Tech's playing a lot better.
Yeah, they are.
And Blacksburg is a place we've played well at, but it is a difficult place to play at.
Turns out Vandy wasn't such an embarrassing loss after all either.
Oh crap, now I got the thing saying that my OBS is disconnected. I think we're still good though. Yeah, we are. But shout out to Vandy, man. Vandy's a good football team. Vandy's not the worst. Their over-under SEC win total was half a game. They've already blown by that.
Half a game.
It was.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you took Vandy in the over SEC win total, once they upset Bama, you would hit it. They had to pay you out right there on the spot.
Wow.
Before we get in the schedule too, I'll say this. This kind of makes my stomach turn. If there's any way they can get Haynes King on the field against Notre Dame, I think this coaching staff does it.
Yeah.
And I think that's unfortunate. If that happens, I'm going to blow a head gasket. If I see Haynes King coming out to start or play against Notre Dame, that's awful. But let's look at the schedule. So we got Notre Dame at Virginia Tech, and then we take our second bye leading into Miami. We could well lose those 3 games. I mean, we will be underdogs in all of those games, most likely. If the audio is getting shoddy, I think my OBS was acting up, but it should be good now.
I wonder if Haynes is back by Miami.
I don't know, but I also think it would be poetic if Pyron started. He got his second win. He got his second win in Blacksburg. of his career.
Of Virginia Tech. I thought you were gonna say gets revenge against Miami because he broke his freaking collarbone
That
2
too.
years ago against them. So that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah. So we're at 5 wins. We're a game away from bowl eligibility.
Yeah.
The most likely win to get you there, I think, is NC State and it's on a weird Thursday night.
You gotta beat NC State, right? I mean, they're terrible.
What is their record?
They're 3-4. And those 3 wins are against cans of corn.
They beat Western Carolina. Yep.
Louisiana Tech and goddamn Northern Illinois, which is funny. And that's it. They don't have a single Power 5 win. And in fact, all their wins, well, not all of them. I was gonna say they've gotten blown out, but of course Syracuse struggled against them, struggle bus.
Wake.
Wake. Well, Wake is terrible too.
Wake has 2 wins now, I think. But that being said, you cannot let a awful, struggling NC State team come in Atlanta and beat you. And it's a 7:30 kick, so it's going to be a night game. That's going to be lit. Like, I'm excited for that. You've got to win that game. I don't care if you are beat Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and Miami going to NC State. You got to beat NC State.
Yeah.
And then obviously, go ahead.
I'm looking to that game to as a lock for us to win. So, obviously you don't pencil anything in, but that's got to be a win. It really just has to be. Then, and then Virginia Tech game determines whether you can get to 7 wins.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about people that have accused us both of being blind homers. The most likely outcome, just statistic-wise, is that NC State is your next and only win on this schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the facts. Unless you start getting considerably better in some of these areas we've talked about earlier in the show. Obviously, you finish on the road at Georgia. Now, that game doesn't look as daunting as it did in the beginning of the season.
Georgia sucks balls. We're going to kick their ass. We are going to run them out of their own overrated freaking stadium. They're down bad. Their coach is shoving players. They're getting arrested for heinous crimes.
Assaulting a fetus, an unborn child.
Their fans aren't even showing up to the game. They have a terrible home field advantage. After they, bragged about it all last year and get offended when people don't say it's a good home field advantage. They're freaking, they're just a complete failure of a program. We're going to go up in there and just kick their ass, really.
What's your way too early score prediction?
Way too early score prediction? I say we beat them 64 to probably 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 64 to 10.
What if we beat them 40-4 for the 404?
40-4. Oh, 40-4 would be nice too. Yeah.
400-4. I don't know.
Yeah.
404 to nothing. But yeah, I mean, look, a lot of things to work on.
Hook 'em. By the way.
Oh well, you have your Texas hat on. Yeah.
Hook 'em, baby.
Yeah. What else do you want to talk tonight? We're coming up to the top of the hour.
Yeah, I did have something I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But I forgot.
See, it sounds important. It sounds really important.
Bruh. What was it?
Is it about well, let me ask you this while you're thinking about it. Have you worked on anything for this Thursday night game or the Notre Dame game's the next home game? There's going to be troughs. Do you have a plan now? Are you going to that game, any of these games? And if you do
Miami, I'm going to Miami.
That's right.
I'll be at Miami.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I just go in the stall.
But dude, you might miss part of the game because you're waiting on the stall, dude. There's a ton. There's going to be a ton of people there.
Well, a ton of people at the Miami game.
Usually
there's no one there, so I don't have to wait.
Well, that you
don't have very good attendance.
That was the only good thing for you with Collins is you could always find a stall in the bathroom, so you can thank him for that.
Exactly.
And Miami is homecoming. You're right.
That's so funny. Yeah, I'll be there. Homecoming's always fun. We always play great on homecoming and have a great crowd. That we'll be coming off of a bye week. I mean, I feel good about our chances. Everybody, Miami, I'm not scared of them. You kidding me? I'm not scared of them.
I'm not either. I mean, if Cal can get a 25-point lead on them, we can play them. We can hang with them for sure.
Yeah.
Imagine if we upset Miami again, and imagine if it's on another coaching snafu. If they get 2 in a row, or just something like that, would Touchdown Tim make another article on us, dude? Touchdown Tim has evolved to his final form. I mean,
he. Well, I keep thinking that, and he still continues to surprise me.
Okay, I'm just gonna say what his new craze is. You and I both know what his new craze is. He will find a picture of a very large-breasted woman, and the best one I saw of this trend is he said, "You're so beautiful. I just used the last 5% of my battery life to crank one out to you."
Well, I like the one where he says, it was like the hurricanes going on and everything, and he says, I would crank one out to you as my house fills with water.
I gotta hurry before the water gets to my waist.
Oh my God, dude. He is a menace. He is an absolute menace. He said he commented on Angel Reese's photo and said he would lick the sweat off her toes, dude.
I believe him.
That guy needs to be put away.
Do you think he would attend a Diddy party?
Oh man. Yeah, dude.
Hell, he might have given Diddy the idea for some of that.
Yeah. He would win the freak off.
Tim, you got to sit this one out. We're tired of you winning the freak offs.
Yeah.
Put your phone up.
Oh my God, dude.
Let's go.
Yeah, Tim is a maniac. We're talking about Touchdown Timothy on Twitter for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about. That guy he's a Miami fan, and he's absolutely insane.
Yeah, he would buy people's bathwater. There's not no, Wreck didn't go. Well, dude, I mean, ask the people that rode in the car with me. I'm not going to go into it, but I do think it's hilarious. Maybe this would be a great thing to end the show on. I'm always giving you grief for like not telling me I'm on speaker. And then today I didn't even heed that. I still said things that I would say if I wasn't on speaker. So, what do you got going on this week, Cdogg? What we need to be excited for?
I'll probably just make a video about Notre Dame, and that's probably about it. I still got a lot going on with work and stuff in the house, so
I heard that.
Nothing crazy. If you're looking for perhaps any, buzzsaw content, we're shooting for maybe the NC State game, maybe.
All right.
So be looking for that, but a lot going on at the Cdogg household.
I heard that, dude. Yeah, you got a lot going on. You got a lot going on.
So obviously my house is still under construction, so even though I'm living here. But yeah, we're doing all right. And I think with this tonight, look, we don't play North Carolina again for a long time. Well, next time we play them, Matt Brown will be gone. Geoff Collins will be gone.
They might fire another coach in between the time, that we play them.
I feel like this is like when we can finally close the book on Geoff Collins. Don't you think?
Depends on Geoff.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think I've proven my scorched earth approach to people.
That's true.
So yeah.
If I had to guess, I would think that Geoff Collins doesn't get another Power 5 job. I think it's the last time we're going to see him.
Well, there's at least one more press conference he'll have to talk about us. Now, it probably won't be this week, but I'm sure whenever the next press conference is, they're going to ask him. And
God, I wish they didn't have a bye week because I want to see that.
Yeah. I've even had
But,
people commenting like, I cannot wait for that for that reaction video.
Yeah.
And you're gonna
Well, that'll
get
be funny.
it.
That'll be funny.
But yeah, so obviously I have power rankings to put out tomorrow, ACC power rankings. That'll be interesting. That'll be a fun power ranking video to do. A lot of movement in the ACC. I'll probably do a post game UNC. We'll close the book on UNC. And just for any UNC fans that listen to me, and they were very nice. Shout out to Preston. He fed us all the UN. When we got there, by the way, there weren't people that sat in front of us for a while, and there was like a few guys that and like their wives that sat in front of us, and I like tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, hey, I just want to apologize for like what we're probably gonna say, because like I don't have anything against you. And if Geoff Collins just so happened to be near, I said, that man tried to kill our program though, and I have to let him know what's up.
He tried his best, but Brent Key dug us out from the grave, and don't forget that people are too freaking hard on him.
Yeah, and that's the other video. I'll put that video out this week, just so people will know, and this kind of starts to close the book on it. Like, if you don't know, this is why I hate this guy. This is why I wish the worst in life for him. This is why if I could get in a room with him, I would put hands on him. Like, all that. You'll know that. We'll have a post UNC video, preview for the UNC Georgia Tech game. All that coming out, so I got a lot of work to do. Any final thoughts for the people out there, Cdogg?
Go Jackets, baby. To hell with Jeff.
Go Jackets and to hell with Jeff. F you, Jeff. I think we had about 130 people in here at one point, so I appreciate y'all coming by. And y'all have a good one. And if no one's told you, WreckTalk loves you. Except Geoff Collins, you're a son of a bitch, and I hate you. Have a good one.